Yeah, we bring reviews of your house. Talk to our dudes of your house. I bring my views of your house. Wrestling truths of your house. We talk to you in your house. We keeps it cool in your house. We keeps it cool in your house. I'm spitting truths in your house. Yeah. Mark's hating on his fans. Becky Nish on the man. Play with two like a lions. Household a dangerous alliance. I am an like Cody. And I'm overcoming like Kobe. No, they cannot hold me. Come listen, I'm hosting, critiquing, I'm boasting. This wrestling I'm knowing.
My name is Brian Pillman Jr. And you're listening to the In Your House podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to In Your House, starring Alakan House. This is the People's Podcast. Hey guys, you already know who it is. It's your boy Khan, ready to get at work when it comes to the professional wrestling business. That is what we do, and hey, we love it. So let you guys know where you guys can listen to this at. You guys can listen to this at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Himalaya. Hey, you don't have an Apple device? That's alright. We're on Google Play. Anywhere that you guys are, hey, we can get to you. So guys, it has been an incredible last week. I mean, just an incredible last week. I mean, and when you guys listen to this, it is going to be Monday morning, day after Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the great dads out there. I hope you bought your dad a freaking shirt. www.prowrestlingtees.com/inyourhouse. Go buy a freaking shirt. I don't know what you're doing, but man, it's been an incredible last week. I mean, we just had the premiere of our talk show drop Saturday night. Had a little bit of difficulties with the watch party, and we went on a little bit later than what we wanted to, but you know what? It was a complete success. I mean, I'm so happy and grateful for the team that we have. I mean, everybody is just moving in the same direction, and everybody has the same goals, and we're just doing it, y'all. We're just doing it. And you guys too, out there in the household, the 14 different countries across these great United States and locally right here in Indiana. We're doing it, and it's mainly because of you guys. I mean, yeah, I'm putting in the work, and my team's putting in the work, but guys, like, you guys give us a purpose and a reason to keep it pushing. So that's what we do, and man, I think about how far this podcast has came. I think about how far this podcast has came, and where it all started, and I've said this on the show before. I wanted to do a podcast for a long time, but I didn't know how to do it. I just didn't know the means. And it was actually my older brother, AJ Wone, who turned me on. He turned me on to what I needed to do, how I can get this off the ground, the right ways to do it, and just the ways to take it. And he really helped me out and got it off the ground. So you know, I love my brother. Happy Father's Day to him, and all the things that he's done has definitely inspired me. But now that I've come so far in my podcasting career, and I'm at a position to be able to give back, you know, I feel like that's what I need to do. And I got a call last night. No, it wasn't last night. It was Friday night. Sorry, it was Friday night, and it was my brother, and he had my nephew Kedase on the phone, and we were talking and chopping it up about wrestling, and we had a real good conversation, and that prompted me to be like, hey, you know, I want to be able to give back to my nephew, you know, and just have him on the show and just come and talk to his uncle about wrestling. So guys, In Your House, ladies and gentlemen, In Your House welcomes my nephew, aspiring professional wrestler Kedase Wone. How you doing, nephew?
How you doing? It's a pleasure to be here. Real pleasure to be here.
Oh man, I'm happy to have you. Happy to have you. I'm so glad that you came on. I'm just so happy. You're the first family member to come onto the show. So you blessed my podcast by doing this, and man, I'm just so happy to have you on, bro. I'm just so happy. So thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. And you wanted to talk a little professional wrestling today, and we came up with a few topics, but mainly the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about, and of course we're gonna get all the wrestle talk out of the way. We're gonna get there, and it's gonna be a great conversation. But the first thing that I wanted to talk about is the fact that you want to be a professional wrestler. It's something that you've aspired to do. Is that correct?
That is very correct. At a younger age, when I first started watching wrestling, and I had seen. I think it was a Undertaker and Batista segment, something like that.
Yeah.
I had seen that, and for a long time, it was just something that I had watched just like as a show, and I had just seen as like, wow, look at these these superstars doing these like superhuman things. Like, you know, I didn't ever want to become a pro wrestler. I just wanted to watch it from a fan's perspective.
Right.
And then as I got older and older, I had like formed like this. I had such knowledge on this on the product or on the business and on wrestling itself, and I recently, it was actually recent, I think about a year ago, I decided that I want to become a pro wrestler, and that's something that I definitely want to do. So I was super concerned. I didn't know if I was ever ready to become a pro wrestler or to have dreams to become one. I thought I would always enjoy it just from a fan's perspective, but yeah.
Absolutely, man. It's great, and it's great to hear that something that I've loved my entire life, and even your father, my brother, he's watched it. He's always watched it as well. We've always been fans of it, and now and now to hear that you not only are a fan of it, so you inherited this love of the business from us, but you're taking it a step further. You actually want to step in the ring, and to me, dope. I'm so proud. You know what I mean? Like, I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm proud of that. So you've wanted to be a wrestler for a little bit. You said the last year. So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Kedase. Who's some of your influences coming up that you would say make you want to get into this business? I mean, it's different to say, oh, I'm a fan of this guy, I'm a fan of that guy. What superstars over the years have made you think, hey, I want to be a part of that?
So there's the obvious, when I hit, like, I think definitely around the time I wanted to become a pro wrestler was when I watched Velveteen Dream against Aleister Black at War Games, and seeing Patrick, or he was known as Patrick in Tough Enough, but seeing how quickly he developed and how quickly he evolved into, you know, Velveteen Dream, and how he was just like, he just looked like a natural, and it just seemed like, I mean, that was more recent, because he hasn't been around for, like, you know, 10 years, or I wasn't watching him as I was growing up, but that was more of a recent inspiration, or a recent superstar that I had seen, and I thought, wow, I want to do this. Definitely, I would say a lot of my, like, top stars, like my favorite stars, like Rollins and Styles, but I mean, they've been doing it for quite a while, and I don't think that I enjoy them from, like, a fan's perspective, but I wouldn't say that. I know that takes a lot of time to get to the point where they're at, but I think it's definitely stars like Velveteen Dream who's made it to where they're at in such a short amount of time that has made me want to become a pro wrestler.
Oh yeah, great! I absolutely love the Velveteen Dream. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. He's been saying some controversial stuff, but I think he's just trying to get some heat on him on Instagram and Twitter and whatnot. But still, man, I love Velveteen Dream. He looks like money, smells like money. The title that he has, the North American Championship, looks perfect on him. It's a great looking title on a good looking champion. Love it. Definitely love the fact that you're inspired by Velveteen Dream. So absolutely. And one of the things, I'm not sure if you knew this, we talked a little bit about this, but there's a really, really great training school out there. I believe in your area. It's in the LA area, but it's Nox Pro, that's run by Rikishi in the Samoan Dynasty. I know we talked a little.
Yes.
Yeah, I know we talked a little bit about this, but man, if there was anywhere that I was going to suggest for you, it would probably be there, because I just think that you would benefit so much from learning that style. I mean, you fit that look, you know what I mean? And I think if you worked that type of match style that Rikishi teaches the Samoan Dynasty, I think that would fit perfectly for you, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I've definitely heard a lot of good things about that wrestling school. But yeah, definitely, that's close to my area, so I'll be sure to give that to head on over to that place. Definitely.
I think that's a perfect place for you. I do, and even if you got to start off at some other wrestling schools, that's cool too. You know what I mean? But definitely, I know there's a couple of places I can point you in that direction to get you trained and whatnot. But we'll talk about that off air. And we've talked a little bit about what you want to do and the look that you have, which I'll make sure that my listening audience gets a good look on you. You know what I mean? And they'll say, hey,
right.
I think he looks like a star. He looks like somebody that could be in the ring. So we'll before we move on to, of course, the fun talk, the WWE and all the things that we like to talk about, because we just like to talk about the product. The last thing that I'll tell you, man, is from everything that I've done in music and now in podcasting, and now I'm hitting the commentary table. October 5th, Heroes and Legends 13 in Fort Wayne, Indiana on Fight TV. I'll be on commentary with the great Jason Saint, professional wrestling manager. I'll tell you this, man. Now that you are done with school, and great job on that. I'm so proud, and congratulations on graduating. So proud of you. I really truly am, from the bottom of my heart. But now that you're done with that, and if wrestling is what you want to do, bro, don't wait. Okay? Don't wait. You're
Definitely.
young. You're young. You're a good-looking kid. You're athletic. You got a lot of charisma. Don't freaking wait. You need to do it now, because if you start now, by the time you're my age, you're going to be a legend. I mean, think about what you're 19 right now?
18.
18. If you start now and you're in the bit, think about it. By the time you're my age, I'm 32, you will have been in the business for over 10 years. Over 10 years.
I didn't even think about it like that. Wow, that's crazy.
And think about it. Think about it like this. By especially with the work rate, that I'm pretty sure that AEW, they're going to be looking at the younger talent. You'll be ready for AEW by the time you're like 23, 24. WWE, they look for more of the entertainer. So even then, at 23, 24, you can still be in NXT. It's a freaking hotbed of professional wrestling right now, Kedase, and it's a great time for you to break in. Timing. I believe in timing, and I think now is the time for you, Kedase Wone, to start your training and get ready to break into the business.
Sure, I'm super excited. Super excited.
Oh, I'm excited for you, and I hope that this is something that we can bring to fruition. And just know that anything that I can do to help, I'm definitely going to help you out. But I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you out a little bit too right now, because we're about to transition this talk into a little WWE talk. And when we talked on Friday, your dad was on the line. He was going crazy. He was ripping that long hair out of his head because you said that you were a loyalist to WWE. He was going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying, I've been on social media, been on Instagram, been on Twitter, and I've been seeing a lot of fans or a lot of people say or talk about how this is like a new Monday Night War, a modern day Monday Night War, or
yeah.
it's WWE versus WCW again.
Oh,
yeah, right. WWE versus AEW, and I just thought that I don't know if it was just a realization or something, but I was just like, I don't think that even in that sense, if there was a war, I just don't think WWE can be touched in the sense that it's just a global beast or a great case. I just think that it's untouchable, and I think that even if it's the people saying things like that that'll not have AEW become its own. I feel like they're trying to turn it into something that's just going to rival WWE. That's like, oh, this is going to be the kryptonite to WWE. Like, I want it to be. I don't really want to look at it from a competition perspective. You know, I want both of them to be their own separate product. But like seeing people talk about how New Japan was going to rival WWE and Ring of Honor and even TNA at some point, it just makes me think, wow, I feel like AEW is just going to be another thing that just isn't quite WWE.
Oh no, and listen, I totally understand where you're coming from. We've had this happen before. This is nothing new. There's been promotions before WWE that's tried to compete with WWE, and there's been promotions after WWE that's tried to compete with them. And listen, we have to go with the history here, okay? The history here is that WWE's competition, they've always put them in the dirt. And it doesn't matter if it's by the hand of WWE or by the hand of the promotion itself putting itself in the dirt. TNA! You know exactly what I mean, and I feel what you're saying. We don't want to look at it as a competition. I hear all the time, oh, AEW is gonna put WWE out of business, or WWE is gonna put AEW out of business. Kedase, I don't understand why fans would want any company to put another company out of business, because that means
exactly.
That limits our wrestling. Like, now we have more wrestling. This is great. It's a renaissance of professional wrestling, and it just proves that fans like me, fans like your dad, fans like yourself stuck with the product even when it wasn't great. But now we've got AEW that is going to force WWE to once again step it up. We've seen WWE do it before, and now we're going to get a chance to see WWE do it again.
Right.
And that's where my mindset is at. Is that this is not going to be a war. Maybe if AEW stays in its own lane and then becomes a monster of its own and then decides to move to Monday nights, then maybe we have a war on our hands. But right now, I think we got to understand that this is going to be something completely different than what we saw when WWE, at the time WWF, went up against WCW. We're going to see AEW make the right decisions and the right moves, and it's going to force WWE to step their game up, and then boom, look at that, Kedase. All of a sudden, we have a great product in AEW and a great product in WWE. What do you think about the thought of AEW not putting WWE out of business, but forcing WWE to step up and give us a better product?
That's exactly the outcome that I'd like to see. That I think a lot of wrestling fans would like to see. Seeing two wrestling businesses just at their best completely. Yes. You know, that's amazing. That's always a wonderful thing, rather than trying to put the other brand out of business.
Facts. I agree with that there. I totally agree with that there. And the biggest thing with me now, I'm not going to sit up here and say that I love everything that the WWE has done lately, because quite frankly, I haven't. You know what I mean? Right. I haven't. They've done great things like NXT TakeOver 25. Fantastic of you.
Amazing show.
Incredible. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Super Showdown. Not so much.
Not so great. That was a little difficult to watch. Especially the main event, the Goldberg and Taker match. I know that match gets enough heat already from everybody, from all the fans, but like that was just that, and then the 50-man battle royal. I don't know what was going on with that, and then Mansoor won, who's Saudi Arabian. I didn't know he was Saudi Arabian when he had won. I thought that they just made some guy win. I had no idea that was the case until he cut the promo after. But that, and then Kofi against Ziggler. Yeah, it was a pretty. But I feel like that's what we've been getting a lot, at least from the main roster. And that sounds very not smarky, but like it sounds like our main roster. But it's like a lot of the pay-per-views, at least it's the truth. Yeah, from the main roster, a lot of matches are the Stomping Grounds is right around the corner, and with Stomping Grounds, like I look at the match card for that. I think it's that's Kofi against Ziggler in a steel cage match, and then
I think
that's the thing. Rollins against Baron Corbin. Yeah, Rollins against Baron Corbin again.
Yeah,
he's already beaten Corbin. He's had like half a dozen Universal Championship matches already against Corbin, and he's beaten him. Oh, that's over-exaggeration, probably like 3. But this is like they're going at it again, and it's kind of like, is Lesnar going to come out and do his, a Brock party thing and come dance into the ring? And then, it's like, I think that definitely with NXT, their shows have just been stellar, have just been amazing. And I think that, that's all I have to say with that.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing about it is, man, and you threw some subjects that you wanted to talk about my way, and that brings me to this next subject here, and that's this. They cannot, Kedase, they can't keep putting on shows like Super Showdown and then putting on matches like or doing matches over and over again like they're doing with Stomping Ground. Like, I have no desire to watch that show at all because it's all matches that I've already seen. Kedase, they can't keep doing this with October coming up and they're about to be on Fox.
Exactly, yeah, because I had heard about like talks of them wanting to move towards more of a sport aspect of it. What made me want to talk about this was yesterday I was watching a boxing match, and I had looked at, they were like talking about the stats or something like that, and like in the stats, like they had like the height and the weight of the boxers, and then it said like there was a fact, and it said like engaged, has no children, and I thought, what's the significance of having that like fact there? And then I thought about how WWE, more so in 2016, was doing that with like the Dolph Ziggler, fluent in American Sign Language. It was like, what's the purpose of knowing that or having that there as a fact? I didn't know. I'm still not 100% clear on what they're trying to do as far as moving towards a sport thing, if they're going to be having like tail of the tape or if they're going to be like, I heard something about like, I don't know if it was AEW or WWE, but something about like them counting strikes and punches and takedowns or something like that. Wow. And I don't know if that's good or if that's
too
bad, because it is sports. It is sport. It may be too much because it's already sports entertainment. So it's like, what else is that going to add to that? It's like, oh, like we already know that some of the matches the matches are choreographed, but like, are we? It's an interesting aspect.
I guess it's just the way I'm seeing it is, I guess it's pointless. But let me add, like I see where it'd be pointless, because what would it be leading to? Like, oh well, he leads the WWE in kicks, or he leads the WWE in takedowns. Like, it seems pointless. I agree there, but let me ask you this. Do you think that it would be beneficial for them to have, like, a win-loss record that shows up every time they, on the screen that comes when they come out that says their name? Maybe like a win-loss record or something? What do you think about that?
Right, but that sounds something that's definitely something that'll be a good addition. I think that's something that I think will not teeter the line too hard when it comes to crossing over to sports and or staying over on entertainment. Like, it's right there in the middle. I think that'd be a good addition right there, because especially with things like I mean, they're not making it a thing, but I'm just saying with things like streaks and stuff that's been going on with I think that's something that wouldn't be like, oh, what is this? What is this new thing here? It's like that's something that's not too crazy, but it's like that'd be a good addition, I think.
I agree with that because they could also like tie it into stories and stuff, and like you'll see it like to a grand extent, like Goldberg 173-0, or Undertaker 21-0 at WrestleMania, or Asuka's undefeated streak, or even Zack Ryder, or not Zack Ryder, but Kurt Hawkins' losing streak. They'll take it to an extreme, but just nuance it in simply like, oh well, out comes Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor. He's currently on a 7-match win streak, and he's going up against Bobby Lashley, who's he's on a 4-match win streak. Let's see which streak is going to win. Like, I think that's something like that just helps the story along a little bit. And also, Kedase, I don't want to see guys who've lost 7 out of their last 10 matches compete for a championship. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. It just makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, if somebody is on, like, if somebody's on the come up, like let's say, I'm just throwing a name out there, first name that comes to mind. Let's say Apollo Crews has quietly won 6 matches in a row. Like, nobody thinks about it because it's just, like, against other guys like Tyler Breeze or somebody like that, but he's quietly won 6 matches in a row. Like, that should give him, like, he should be in, like, the U.S. or Intercontinental Championship title conversation. What do you think about that?
Right. That's a good aspect as well. I was also thinking that they could do something like that with their win-loss record, and they can, like, have, like, like, I know they already have this separately, like the power rankings thing, where they do the power rankings every week.
Yeah.
But perhaps they could have something like that. Like, you know how UFC has that, where it's like you have the best fighters, the champion, you have number 1 contender, number 2, number 3, number 4, based on like on their record, how they fight, and how good they are pound for pound. So perhaps they could do something like that for WWE, where wrestlers who have the most wins, who have been, I guess worthy of having a championship match would all be in a line. I could just see that, just Apollo Crews, and then, I don't know, Andrade and a whole bunch of other stars, Ali, and then it just depends like that. And as they go up the scale, the number 1 person gets a championship match, and then if they lose, and the next person in line gets a championship match. I don't know. But that's definitely that's a cool, like, sportsy kind of thing that they could add to that, if that's what they're trying to go for, at least, and the sports direction, because they're going to be on Fox, which is, of course, a sports esque type of channel. But if that's what they're aiming for, then I definitely think a win-loss record and, like, some sort of, like, power ranking system would be, a nice addition to that.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly, because I think it would just it would make it more sports centric for them to tie in win-loss records, and also it's a good way to, if you wanted to push new guys, you could do that too. You know what I mean? Like okay, we want to push Andrade, so let's quietly put him on a 10-match win streak, and then on his 11th match that we're gonna book him to win, as he's walking out to the ring and doing his ring entrance, like Michael Cole or Corey Graves says something like, Andrade is on a 10-match win streak, and word is from backstage from the general manager or the McMahon family that if he wins this match right here, he will get an opportunity at the Intercontinental Championship. Like, give me a reason to care, you know what I mean? And you know what you know what kills me, could I say, is that they do that next man up type mentality on, like, the WWE video games, but they don't tie it into their real life.
Exactly.
I don't get that. I just don't understand. If it works well one place, like you'll have the power rankings on, like, the WWE 2K video games, and then the next guy in line, he'll get a title shot at, like, whatever the next pay-per-view is on the games, on the universe mode. Why not take from that and actually do it? Because that gives me a reason to care about guys. That gives me a reason to, you know what I mean? That gives me a reason to be like, okay, he is on a... I didn't realize he went on that match streak.
Exactly. Even something as that doesn't have any, context behind it, like having an open challenge. Like, I know that's always brought up John Cena's U.S. title reign, where he had an open challenge every single week. Yeah. And I think Rollins is doing that as well recently with the Intercontinental title. Like, even just having the open challenge thing, it's like, okay, who's going to come out? And then, like, even seeing stars that you wouldn't think would be in because they were putting on good matches every week, at least as far as Rollins and Cena goes with the open challenge thing. So you're given a reason to care just simply for the fact that it's an open challenge and anybody can come out. Anybody, could come out and they have a good match on the show. So even if they do lose, it's like, wow, they got some airtime and they had a good match, and you get to see their in-ring abilities and such. So definitely, I think having a reason to care about a wrestling match or care about the opponent or whoever's challenging the champion is definitely an important piece in enjoying the product.
Oh, yes, absolutely agree. Give me a reason to care. I want a reason to care. I truly do, because right now I feel like WWE is kind of just dragging along until October. You know what I mean? Like I feel
Right.
like they're not putting their best foot forward right now. A couple of things, obviously, to point out, of course, is the Firefly Funhouse, which is great, but I think that it's getting to a point where people are like, when are we going to see him in the ring? And then
Right.
another good thing, of course, in my opinion, is the 24/7 championship. That's provided a lot of great entertainment.
Right.
But
Right.
but I'm with you. I want to see something more sports centric. You can let the 24/7 title be what it is, which is fun and entertainment. And the reason that I'm able to enjoy the 24/7 championship is because my expectations for that title were not to be a prestigious title. It was supposed to be a fun, joke type, gimmicky type title, and because I set my expectations to that, that's why I was able to enjoy it as much as I do. You know what I mean?
Right.
But my point is this, is that they can't keep dragging their feet going into Fox, because going into October to be on Fox, because then they're going to be trying to play catch up and play from behind by the time October actually gets here. No, you don't want to do that. You want to start improving this product right now, like immediately. So that way, by the time it's time to go to Fox in October, they're like, okay, this is what we have. We've been hot for like the last 2 months, and now we're going to have a hot product to give to you guys. You know what I mean? That's my thought on it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I think that's definitely something that they should be conscious of. It's just like it just looks really, lazy. I feel like right now it's just like they're just throwing in the Ziggler and Kofi. There's nothing interesting or nothing that I look forward to as far as SmackDown is concerned, specifically because they're the ones that are moving to Fox, and it's just like I don't know what their plans are. I don't even know if October does come and they do come to Fox, if they're going to change drastically. Because again, with the sports thing, if that's what they're looking for, then they have stars. They have Nakamura, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, all stars that are very much on that, they look like realistic kind of wrestling style that would definitely fit a sports kind of look or sports kind of thing, whatever they're looking for. So if they're dragging their feet right now, it's kind of just, it puts me into me and I'm sure a lot of other fans into a state of what are they going to do? Are they going to just and as soon as they move to Fox, just quickly, just boom, this is a completely different thing? Are they going to stay the same? Are they going to get worse? I don't know what the plans are. I'm just completely out the loop right now. So as far as SmackDown is concerned.
Oh, I know, and that's the thing. You don't know, I don't know. I'm not backstage at WWE. I have no idea what's going on. But I like to think, from stuff that I've heard and things that I've heard, like the Dean Ambrose, well, now known as Jon Moxley. Of course, you know that interview from the Jericho podcast, and then the other one that Moxley did with Wade Keller. It sounds like, from what we hear, that he's been back there, so he knows. And it sounds like, from what I hear, it's just a mess back there right now, and they've got to change it because the problem is this, Kedase, is that WWE has a very archaic way of thinking, which means basically they've done it for years. They've done it since the Attitude Era, and it's always worked for them. Well, now that things back, and I'm talking backstage, I'm not talking about on camera, I'm talking about backstage wise and the management and everything, and it's always worked that way. Well, with the company growing and now it's a publicly traded company, there's too much red tape and there's too much middleman, and I think that takes out the love of the product. And that's the thing, could I say, I love the WWE and always have and always will, but it feels like the love isn't in the product. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's my issue, is that it feels like they're not even trying their best, and I want them to try their best, because we already know that come October, when AEW shows up on the scene on TNT, they are going to be coming in with a huge chip on their shoulder, a television deal, and they're going to be going super hard, and I think that we both know that, bro, and that's why we need WWE to put their best foot forward, because I'm with you. I know that your pops, my brother, he's like, oh man, he's all up with AEW. He's all up on it. I'm with him. I'm behind him. I agree with him. I absolutely agree with him. But man, I don't want to see WWE die. I don't. I never want to see that. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's not my wish. I don't want that to happen. WWE has been a great part of my life, but at the same sense, Kedase, I am not going to let their past greatness blind me from the blunders that they are making right now in this day and age. So I need them, and I think that you need them too, and I think everybody needs them to start putting their best foot forward and give us the best product possible.
Exactly. Yes.
And that's where I'm at with that. And one thing one thing that because you threw another subject at me, you threw it at me like last minute, like right before I called you, and I was like, man, I'm glad he brought him up, because it's like they put him on the main shows or whatever, and then there was talks of him going to 205 Live, and I'm like, man, don't do him like that. And the man that I'm talking about is Johnny Gargano, one of the best performers out today. And it seems like, man, now that he's dropped the NXT Championship to Adam Cole, and he does have future plans that I'm not going to go ahead and spoil for the people that listen to this, because I know a lot of my listeners watch NXT and they're going to want to just see it come to fruition. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, you guys will have to go hit those dirt sheets and hit the spoilers. But after that, what's next for somebody is epic is Johnny Gargano, and that's what I'm concerned about. Like, I feel like that if you're going to have somebody like that go back to NXT, it feels like the right time to bring him back to the main shows would probably be like after SummerSlam. Where are you at on the growth of Johnny Gargano?
I think that since definitely, I think Johnny Gargano is definitely probably top 3 in the world, like the living and breathing best performers or best wrestlers, because every time I've seen him, every person he's had a match with has just been amazing, whether it's NXT taping or on NXT Takeover, and it's like as when I had first seen John, I had heard a little bit about him on the independent scene, and then he came to he was a Cruiserweight Classic in 2016, which is a few years ago, and I kept telling my dad about how, oh, this is Johnny Gargano, he's from PWG, and he's from all these other indie, he does all this, and then he had his match with Tommaso Ciampa, who also from the same scene from PWG as well, and other promotions. They had, one of the best matches of the Cruiserweight Classic, and that was before I had known anything about him. And then DIY, they became a tag team. They had their matches against the Revival, and then they won the titles, and then they were doing like the NXT tag team title open challenge. I think they had a really good match against Akira Tozawa and Tajiri, I think, and then a whole bunch of other matches, and they were just putting on match after match after match. It was just amazing. And then they'd split up, and then Johnny Gargano had a match against Pete Dunne, and then he had another match against Andrade Cien Almas. Not the 5-star one that was said, oh, this is the greatest wrestling match or whatever. They had like a little 15-minute show opener before, and then then he had his match against Andrade again for the NXT title. He just put on amazing matches, and it was just like I don't know what exactly is, because he won he had lost all 3 of the matches against Tommaso Ciampa, the trilogy they had, New Orleans, and then the street fight, and then the last man standing match. So after that, I was like, what are they going to do with Johnny Gargano now? Because he lost all 3 of the matches. He won the first one, but then the other 2 he had lost. And I was like, are they going to like what's next? And then they turned him heel for a little bit, and then he won the North American title, and then it was him and Ciampa together as like a 2-man power trip with the 2 big titles in NXT. And then they moved him to the main roster, and they had some good matches against the Revival and the Bar. And then they moved back, and then Gargano dropped the title, the North American title, to Velveteen Dream, and then they were in the Tag Team Classic, the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and then he turned on Ciampa, and then Ciampa got injured. So I guess they were supposed to have a 4th match. He beat Adam Cole in what was an amazing match, an amazing 2 out of 3 falls match. And then they had a rematch at 25, and then he dropped the title to Cole. So the first thing I thought is, what are they going to do now? Because I feel like Ciampa was put him being put on the shelf was kind of like, I think they were going to have Gargano beat Ciampa for the title.
Yeah.
And then that was going to be like the big moment of him winning the title. But Ciampa left, and then Adam Cole is now the champion. And it's like, I'm not sure, because what's next for Johnny Gargano? Because there were talks of him being on 205 Live. I think who this was put on. I think Chad Gable is on 205 Live now.
Exactly.
And then right, and they had Roderick Strong on there for a little bit.
Yep.
And they had a few other NXT stars, and they were all there for some superstars that they could play out well with, like Buddy Murphy, Neville. Like being on 205 Live, like that was something that was beneficial for them more so, because now they're like their own big stars because of that. But Johnny Gargano, because when I try to make myself think Johnny Gargano versus like Seth Rollins, like how would that look? That'd be a great match. Or him against AJ Styles, like, or Johnny Gargano against like I don't know, Shinsuke Nakamura. There's so many matches that I'd look forward to, but it's like, realistically, is that something that could happen? Because at this point, like, you look at Aleister Black, he's just been doing vignettes on, like, do you really know Aleister Black? And who's going to step up to Aleister Black? And it's been like 4 weeks, and we've just seen him just sitting down in a chair, just talking, and it's just like, is he going to, like, do something? Andrade is, like, has been... He in the beginning, he was just beating up local competitors, I think, the first few weeks. But like, he's been, as of recent, he has been picking up wins against Finn Balor and against a couple other stars. But you know, he didn't win the title at Super Showdown. But like, I guess you could say he's being used, decently. But as far as like other stars are concerned, like I'm not sure what's next for him. I don't know if Johnny Gargano should just leave or go back to the Indies. I don't know. I'm concerned because I don't know how they're going to use him or how they're going to utilize him on the main roster, because you do have big stars that were on NXT, like big stars as big as Johnny Gargano, such as Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor, and you see how they are right now. Like Finn Balor, it took him all the way until he had faced Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, I think, until they had actually like did something with him. Like they gave him the Universal title when he had first moved to the main roster, which is like big, but like still, once he got injured and came back, it was just like,
what's next for him? What are we gonna do with him?
Exactly. So I feel like what's next is like a big question for a lot of NXT stars. So it's not just Johnny Gargano; it's just like a whole bunch of stars. The Velveteen Dream, I feel like I've been told, like when I talk to some of my friends about it, a lot of my friends are like, oh, he's going to get like misused as well. But for some reason, I feel like he wouldn't be. I feel like Velveteen Dream just wouldn't be like played off to the side. I don't know why. I just feel like him as a person, how he speaks out and how he does that, I just feel like he wouldn't let himself get played like that.
Oh, I agree with that. No, I 110% agree with that. I think that the way that Velveteen Dream is, Patrick Clark from Tough Enough, I feel like the way that he is and the way that he speaks out is that if he feels like for a second that his character, if something doesn't make sense for his character, I feel like he's going to go straight to Vince's office. He's not going to do the red tape thing. I mean, he's not afraid. We've even seen at a past takeover that on his trunks it says, "Call me up, Vince." He's not afraid to say the man's name. You know what I mean? So I think I agree with you there, and I also agree with you that I too am concerned about the future of Johnny Gargano, because he is one of the very best in the world right now, and putting on some of the highest caliber of matches that you're going to see in 2019, 2018, and behind that, and probably in front of us. With 2020 and 2021 coming, he doesn't show any signs of slowing down anytime soon, and his bookings have been strange and a little inconsistent. He didn't hold the North American Championship that long. He didn't hold the NXT Championship that long. So it's just weird. I don't really know. He of course is the one Triple Crown NXT champion, which is a great accomplishment, but I don't know where he's going, and I hope that we do have some great things to say about Johnny Gargano in the future and not have those agonizing talks about, oh, they could be using so-and-so better or using this and this better. So I really do hope that in time we have a lot of good to say about Johnny Gargano. And honestly, I have a lot of good to say about this episode. It's been a great episode. So Kedase, what I always like to do is, I'm not sure what how frequent you are on social media and whatnot, but what I like to do is this. I love to give my guests a platform to plug anything social media wise, appearances, or anything that they want to plug. So this is your floor right now, Kedase Wone. It is your time to plug away.
Plug away. So, do I just shout out my social media, or what would I do?
That's it. Yep, that's it.
Oh, okay. You could follow me on Instagram at oldboy.xvii, which is 13 in Roman numerals. That's really all I use, to be honest. Yeah, I don't really stick on any other social media sites, but yeah, I appreciate it though. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. That's your Instagram. Go check it out, guys. That's my nephew, aspiring professional wrestler in Kedase. I appreciate you coming on and talking to me. It was a great conversation, and I had a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun too. Thank you so much. No
problem. And guys, this right here was another great episode. But hey, that's what we do here at In Your House. We give you that work when it comes to the professional wrestling business. So let you guys know where you guys can listen to this at. You guys can listen to this at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Himalaya. Hey, you don't have an Apple device? That's all right. We're on Google Play. And where you guys are, we can get to you. Hey, check us out. October 5th, Heroes and Legends 13, Fort Wayne, Indiana. We are the official podcast of Heroes and Legends. And if you can't be there in person, check it out on Fight TV with your boy Khan and Jason Saint on commentary. Guys, we have a video show. Check that out. Go to the In Your House Facebook page. Also become a Patreon. Patreon.com/InYourHouse. Buy a shirt. Guys, I tell you this all the time. Hop on this bandwagon. Get on. Or get gone. Because the household, well, we going strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.